With us, Dick Morris, author of the huge best-selling book, 2010, Taking Back America. Is this a reignition of the feud or the war, whatever you want to call it, that happened last fall?
Yeah, but you need to see it in a broader context. President Obama has lately, several times, spoken about, and most recently at a speech, I think, in Wisconsin, talked about how when people raise the decibel level and accuse others of being fascist or socialist,
right,
that it bars political compromise. And then President Clinton said that when people criticize the government, it leads to things like the Oklahoma City bombing. And that now you have the Gibbs thing. This is a concerted effort by the administration to villainize their opponents, to make them appear fanatical, reignite the old fears of the ultra-right wing, and motivate a turnout by their supporters by painting their opposition as extremists. The Arizona immigration law fight is of a piece with this. And Goldman Sachs and trying to tie it to the Republican Party. This is their pushback in the 2010 election.
It's a pretty good strategy, though, is it not? I mean, well, it gets people upset. It gets them to pay attention. You don't believe, by the way, what Brown said that they...
No,
let's
get the bipartisan BS off the table.
Right.
Bush did not cause Katrina because he hated black people. Obama did not cause the oil spill because he wanted to discredit big oil.
Right.
Nonsense. And Brown's accusation is also nonsense, that he wants it to go up the East Coast, so it'll become more of an issue. In a broader political context, though, it is clear that this oil spill ultimately will help Obama, because big oil is seen as a Republican thing and environmentalists are seen as Democrats. On the other hand, the terror attack on Broadway in New York will work for the Republicans, because it will cause people to ask the question, why under Obama have we had 3 attacks on American soil, whereas with Bush we had none after 9/11 in 7 years. So I think that ultimately these issues have a skew to them. Obama might lose the minute-by-minute discussion of how he dealt with the oil spill, and Holder might win the minute-by-minute discussion of how they tracked down the terrorist. But ultimately, oil spills help Democrats and terrorism helps Republicans.
But on the oil spill itself, I was on Good Morning America today, and Stephanopoulos said, oh, well, what do you think? And I said, well, there's no doubt that the administration was slow to react, just as the Bush administration was slow to react to a hurricane. No doubt. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think
they were slow. But even if they were fast, what do you want to do? Put Obama in a dive suit and have him go down there with a rake? Well, I mean, what could they possibly have done?
Brown makes the point that the EPA could have been on the scene and not just leave it to the Coast Guard.
And done what?
Well, what they're doing now with...
We're not doing anything now. They can't stop the flow.
No, stuff that's being sprayed, the Wall Street Journal today said is having an impact. There is stuff that the dome that they're now putting on might have an impact. There is stuff that they could have done, and instead Obama did say, I'm going to leave this to BP and sort of
they trusted BP just as Bush trusted the local authorities in Louisiana to gain control. All right, now... when you have a situation where you have a polarized country like this, and Gibbs goes out and gives Wendell Goler, the nicest guy. I mean, and Goler, to his credit, stood up to Gibbs.
Yeah.
But doesn't it help us? Doesn't this all help us?
Yeah.
You say it's going to mobilize his base, but only his far left base is going to react to this. Independents, and that's going to tell the tale, they're going to go, you know what, I'm going to watch more Fox News. At least they got a pulse.
I make this point in 2010. There are 2 ways to win an election. The Harold Dickey's, and for that matter, Karl Rove theory, which is animate your base, bring a large turnout, generate passion and support. I tend to see it more as a question of winning swing voters in the middle, although Karl's pretty damn good at that. But what he's trying to do now is he knows he's not going to get the independents and the swing voters. He's trying to create racial tensions over the immigration bill so that he gets Hispanics. He's trying to convince the environmentalists that the world is at stake, so he gets them. He's trying to vilify Fox News and the teabaggers so that he can rev up his left-wing base. And his theory is that it's all a matter of turnout in an off-year election.
And a coalition, to put together a coalition of Hispanics, African Americans, and left-wing Americans.
I have a piece on my website now, dickmorris.com. You can't confuse this with an on-year election. In an off-year election, everything is turnout.
Right.
And what he's trying to do now is to generate passion. It won't work because reality is cutting against him. The terrorism, the recession, the unemployment, the deficit, the health care bill taking effect and driving up premiums, that will hurt the independents. But in the meantime, his goal is to ignite passion on the left.
All right, check out Mars's book, 2010, Taking Back America. Dick, thank you. Next on the rundown, sympathizing with Muslim terrorists. Well, you hear what one NBC News person said. We'll be right back with it.